My name's Rishi. I was a customer of BeMo's for the medical school cycle for 2020, 2021. I was a reapplicant. The first time around, I applied right out of my undergraduate during my kind of senior year of college as an undergrad at UC Berkeley. And I didn't get any medical school acceptances. And that was really disheartening for me. Looking around, I saw online that BeMo had a high reputation for helping students kind of maximize their outcome and achieve their goals. For me, in that case, was kind of getting into a medical school, ideally an MD program in the US. Throughout the entire process, I was by far thrilled with the service I received from BeMo. I personally used the gold package, which I found suited my needs. And from start to finish, it was really great. And as a reapplicant, I personally know how frustrating and difficult it can be, not just going through the process, but it's just, you lose some confidence when you have been rejected the first time, and it's such a complicated process. But the great thing about BeMo is they have a team of experts, and they really understand what helps people get in, not just with something like the personal statements, but really holistically throughout the process. I personally benefited not just from working with the individuals on the team, but using their vast array of resources, whether that was their interview banks, the books they had that helped me on writing the essays and the secondaries. So I can't recommend them enough. The different services they helped me with, starting was with, I used some of their resources to kind of optimize my school choice list, because reapplying, I wanted to kind of, make sure I had schools on my list that I could realistically get into. So they have resources for that. I use their services for my personal statement, obviously, because in the gold package, you can get unlimited feedback on your personal statement. It really was useful for me to kind of go back and forth a few times. I started off with a brainstorming session with one of their members, and he was able to kind of give me some ideas about generally how to rework my essay, but also I worked with them through multiple revisions to really make the most out of my personal statement. Then I worked with them on the activity section, which I think is a really underrated section of the application, but they were able to give me some really helpful feedback about what things that medical schools look for in that section. Later with the secondaries, with the gold package, I was able to get 10 different secondaries feedback on them. And that was really helpful because, the secondaries are a place where the school asks you specific questions that they really want personally value. And that can be really helpful, especially if you have certain schools you really are hoping to get into. And then finally, with the interview phase, I started with this using their interview bank, which says a vast kind of array of common interview questions, and it's just helpful to practice with the simulator. But they also have in the gold package some live interview sessions that I highly recommend someone use to kind of get comfortable with interviewing, because it is really can be a stressful kind of environment if you're doing it the first time. But with their practice, I felt like I was really comfortable walking into kind of my interviews when they happened. It's all in all, medical school admissions is an extremely complicated and extremely competitive process, as I'm sure you all know. And it's really helpful, and I think really smart as an investment to use BeMo, because, they really have kind of dedicated a lot of time to understanding this whole process, and they can help you get into schools and help reduce the stress during the process, which I think is really important, because it is going to be a stressful process, but BeMo does a great job in reducing that. So, with their help, I was able to get multiple admissions to MD schools in the US, and I'm going to be starting this fall. So I really recommend their services. And I know that the biggest thing I would say is, as a reapplicant, it can be stressful, but they're really wonderful, and I'd highly recommend it. And I would definitely just look at it as a huge investment, because the difference in, saving a year on, starting medical school a year earlier is definitely worth it, and they'll make your experience. You'll be glad you did it. So I highly would recommend BeMo to any medical school applicants, and definitely someone in my shoes who's maybe reapplying to medical school after on unsuccessful previous attempts. You definitely won't regret it.